Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and we're at the Laundromat, and this is going to be an exciting week. I think we might break a record for sales based on what's happened so far this week. I fixed the machine, which really should have been fixed before, and we'll talk about why that's so frustrating. We have some other machines that broke, which is just part of the business, and then we made an addition, which should lower our costs significantly, and should have been done before too, but at least now we've got it done. All right, so we will count quarters, count cash, and talk about the different things going on here. Here's a laundromat, and I thought we were going to have a really good week because we broke a record over the weekend for cash collected, $1,437. I also put some new labels on that hopefully the kids don't take off, but I don't know how I got that one on so crooked. I thought I was doing a good job. Anyway, here is the addition, and I go really, really slow this week because I hurt my calf pretty badly. We have insulation on our wall all the way up now. And so we'd asked one of our guys to insulate it before, and he just put a little bit on, had someone else come in and do all of it. So that should help. It was very cold in here earlier this week, in the 50s in the morning. Then it would warm up when people go in there, the dryers start working. But that's not a good situation. There was insulation under that. So hopefully that helps. And then we had our HVAC looked at as well, and they found some issues on that. So I do lease a space, but the landlord pretty much says you can do work on the HVAC and charge me back. So that's what we did. And hopefully it works better too, because it was just cycling on and off and not running as much as it should. All right, now that's not as much cash as we had last week in here, but it could be because there's bigger bills, but we'll count that and see what we had. Last week we had a lot of money gone during the week. In our quarter boxes were almost empty. However, I did fill up our quarter boxes on Wednesday, which I didn't do last week. So that's just the quarters gone from the last 2 days, and that's the cash from Monday to Friday. And then, like I said, we collected $1,437 from Friday to Monday. So, of course, we want to fill these up because when I came in on Monday, I come in Monday and check the change machine. The left side that I'm filling up now was completely empty of quarters, and the right side was almost empty too. So these hold about 1,500 quarters, or sorry, $1,500 worth of quarters. So if we go through $1,437 of cash in a weekend, we're getting low on quarters. So I mean, it's a good problem to have, but we'll have to figure something out. Now I did look at some different options, like maybe putting change machine in that had a credit card reader. They're $6,000. They're so expensive. I don't know if that's really legal, because they all just say that you can get tokens from them. This is obviously our snack machine I'm emptying, and they don't say for quarters. So I haven't looked into, like, is it legal to use a credit card to get quarters from your credit? I don't know. It's kind of like cash back sort of thing. You kind of be like an ATM a little bit, but you're using your credit card instead of, or you could use a debit card too. So I don't know. I haven't seen many of those machines, and maybe there's a reason why they don't let you do quarters. I don't know. All right, here's our pop machine, which we added just a couple of weeks ago. So it's nice to have one working again. Like I said, we put some nicer labels on it, and it closes all the way. So it should. The other one you could not get closed all the way, so I'm sure that didn't help with energy. And quite a bit is gone. And I really wanted to go to the store before I came here, and I completely forgot. So I would say I was really busy, but nope, I just completely spaced it. So we'll see what's in here. And not bad. And then this one has a dollar bill acceptor too, which our other one had that too, the one that broke, but it didn't work. So it's nice to have that as well. Now, I'm a little slow walking around today. Everyone keeps asking me what's going on. Playing basketball with my son. I'm an assistant coach on his basketball team. I partially tore my calf muscle the other day. So I've got crutches that I use most of the time, but crutches don't work when you're holding buckets and different stuff. So if I just go really, really, really slow, it doesn't hurt too bad. So that's why everything is in slow motion. But we'll count those up, see what we've got, and then we'll count up the vending too, and then of course we'll check the soap machine and see what's there as well. That was $15 in cash, I believe, which is more than last week, so definitely seeing more use out of the pop machine than we had last week, so people are realizing it works again. It is kind of odd. I mean, to me, I know it's a brand new, not brand new, but new to us pop machine, and I would assume, you know, some of our regulars would see that. But a lot of the people I talk to are like, "Oh, you fixed the pop machine," when they see someone using it. I'm like, "Oh no, it's a new one." Like, "Oh, okay." So we should probably put a sign on it or something that says "I work" or "new machine," something like that, so people realize it works. I did have a call from someone who said the soap machine stole their money too. I'm not sure where or why, but I'm confused because last week I switched my dissolve on the right with the Tide, because our Tide gets used so much in the slot on the right. I don't know what's going on. My lens cap is being weird, I think. Sorry. The slot on the right you can't fill up all the way or it starts working. But almost no one used the Tide in the middle, and not much Tide sold this week. So I wanted to figure out if something was going on that was wrong with it or what was happening there. Because yeah, usually Tide is our best seller, and not nearly as much was used. So I was checking to see if this worked, and hopefully it works okay. You never know. Stuff breaks all the time, like I said before. Oh yeah, it works. So that's just weird that almost no one used that Tide. So anyway, we'll count those up. We'll refill the rest of it, and then of course we'll check the washers too. And I brought all the stuff with me here because while doing this, I was trying to minimize the amount of trips I took in walking I was doing. So I was being proactive and bringing all the supplies with me the first time, so I didn't have to go back and make a second trip. Usually I see what's missing and go back and get it, and this time I chose a different method for refilling everything. Okay, so this is the pop machine, and I didn't see any non-quarters in there, but you never know, there could be some in there, and yep, there were 3 dimes that popped out of there. So 99 quarters plus 3 dimes plus the $15 in cash we had. So that was pretty good. This is the vending snack machine. Sorry, not vending. They're all vending. And we'll see what was in there. Snack machine's done pretty well the last few weeks. And about 40, not bad, okay. And then of course I dumped, God, I don't know what, I did that last week too, where it's like, I've never had a problem with a bucket kind of popping off the thing. Maybe that wasn't out far enough, but twice in a row I've done that. Alright, and then here is the soap machine, which did not look like it had as much sold this week, because the Tide was so much lower, or higher, not used, whatever. And yeah, there's definitely less there. So we'll put that on our chart and we'll show you everything at the end. But now here's the fun part. We will check the quarters. Except the laundry cart I got had like an old rag wrapped around the wheel and was not working. So spent a good 5 minutes or so getting that taken off. Now we improved the business because we have another laundry cart that works better. So always enjoy improving the business. And actually the shopping cart helped me walk better too. So I could lean on something, and it was better than nothing. Alright, I'm starting up front here this time because there was a guy loading up the backwashers where I usually start, and I didn't feel like waiting for him, so I just decided to shake things up a little bit, and we'll start on the front machines. Now, if you're new, I empty these on Mondays as well. All my big machines I empty twice a week so they don't get too full. And these, my 80 pounders in back and my 50 pounder back, get emptied twice a week. So I've already emptied these ones, and these are pretty full. So this is looking pretty good. Like I said, I think I might break a record this week. I'm not for sure. But just based on what happened over the weekend, it being so busy and so much money being in the change machine, that's a good box too. And then we took a lot of money out of the machines on Monday as well. So that bucket was already full, half full. That was from quarters we took out on Monday. And so, well, that one doesn't have as many as usual. That's odd. Sometimes that could indicate an issue or a problem. But I did talk to my regulars this week, and they always tell me, and they didn't mention anything. I did come in, was it Wednesday or Tuesday? Their machine stopped, took it apart, opened up the drain, and there were keys in there. So multiple times I found keys in the drains of the washer. And what happens is they have kind of a valve that opens and shuts the drain. And if keys or something gets stuck in there, then the drain can't either open or it can't shut, and so the machine just gets stuck at a certain point in time. Eventually, like after 10 or 15 minutes, the machine will realize something's wrong, it'll stop, it'll open it up so people can get their laundry out, but then it's usually soaking wet and not clean, so it's not an ideal situation. But we have people text all the time to say, oh, the machine stopped, I can't get my laundry out, help, 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 and we're like, you know, we can come over, sometimes we do, but a lot of times, like, just be patient, it'll open up, and we'll send you a refund, so you can use a different machine, but it's pretty rare that happens. And, you know, people say you need to clean your drains regularly to prevent that. I could clean my drain every week, and then it still would happen because someone's keys get stuck in there. As soon as they get stuck in there, it's going to stop working. Doesn't really matter, you know, how often you clean those out. If something gets stuck, they get stuck, and it's not like a build-up issue. It's just if something in there weird gets in there, it's just going to stop it up immediately. So there is quite a bit of coins in these too, so that's good to see. I did make sure I got my right buckets this time, even though I twisted the cart like that. You saw me. I knew that all my big machines were in the washer bucket, and all my smaller machines were in the dryer bucket. So that's how I'm separating my two buckets. So yes, even though my cart's twisting a little bit, I was paying attention. And then, while I was doing this, if you heard a little bit in the background, a guy said the soap machine wasn't working right. And what happened was, it didn't fall down far enough for him to grab it, and he has fat fingers like I do. And I got a screwdriver and was able to get it out for him. But that's happened to me too, so I'm not sure if it's... Oh, that's a really good box. Sometimes they pop out and slide out really nice, like that Tide did that I tested earlier, and sometimes they kind of stay in the back. When they stay in the back, it's a lot harder to get them out. Ooh, that's a really good one too. Okay. This is looking real nice. And these are my kind of 3-load 30-pound washers. I really wish I had this other one working. And the story on that one is right beside this one. We needed a valve for it because the water just ran continuously. If we started that machine, the water just ran and ran. Didn't matter if you cut off power. Didn't matter if you unplugged it. It just kept running water forever. This one. And so we got a new valve. I had one of my guys fix it, who've kind of taught to fix a lot of different things. And he said it was working. That was earlier this week. I came in, you know, that same day, and it had an error code on it. It wasn't working. So I was testing it today, and you can see it's at 14 minutes. Yeah. It got stuck on 14 minutes. So I was like, oh, so frustrating because he told me it was working, and it wasn't, but sometimes that happens. So my cleaner said, hey, Mark, there's no water going to this machine. And I thought, okay, you know, maybe it's just some kind of weird valve issue. We didn't get it fixed. And then I was thinking and thinking and thinking. I'm like, there's no way he didn't turn the water on, is there? Yes. Yes, there is. He never turned the water back on. So he never tested it. He never knew if he fixed it. He just put the part in and took the sign off and said it was good. So we are having some change-ups in staff and different things, and hopefully that prevents these things from happening. So I climbed up on my ladder, which was a little bit awkward. Got up there, turned the water on, and look, when you turn the water on, the machine has water going to it. That's a real plus for it. So it was getting stuck because it knew something was wrong. It wasn't filling up. And watch this. This is just blind luck. But I was making sure it wasn't filling too much because that was the problem before. It was just filling up higher and higher and higher. It stopped filling up. And then, look, it changed to 13 right while I was filming it. And then it went all the way through its cycle. It's working. So we fixed this machine. We can take an out-of-order sign-off. And that's when I really, really want to have working because they do really well and people love these. And this is, yeah, sorry. That was before I had fixed it. So, yay, we got that fixed. However, we still have a couple more washers that need some work. And a dryer went down. We'll talk about that when we look at the dryers. But a dryer went down this week too. And we need dryers. Dryers we're very short on. We kind of have enough washers. We can afford to have a couple down. But we don't want to lose any dryers. So, those machines are doing really good, and definitely I'm happy to have another one up and running. There's all of our quarters except for the very, very back machines. So we will. And the guy came back again. He had left for a while, and then he came back right when I was ready to empty those again. So, but he left. So there's our smaller machines, and then here we go. Here are our back big ones. So we've got more quarters to unload. And yes, I found a little bit of silver, but it's pretty rare. And every 99% of the quarters I look at are not silver. They're not that exciting. That's not bad from that machine. One more to go. We added these machines a few months ago. Sorry for the shaking. I figured out you gotta kind of like lift it up a little bit, and that was the trick. And once I figured that out, it came out really easy. So that bucket's really full too. So that's a really good sign. So let's count all this up and see what we end up with, because I'm thinking, you know, we could definitely come close to a record, if not break our record. Our record is just below $2,500 for the week. So I will speed this up because there's a lot of quarters, and it's going to take a lot of time. All right. It's a little awkward doing this too with my injury. I know I keep whining a lot, sorry, but it's just a little different. And I hope I don't end up hurting my other leg or something, because I'm overcompensating and putting all my weight on that one. Yeah, as a kid, I also got hurt all the time playing sports, and actually had knee surgery. I was somewhat vindicated when I was in college. I had part of my kneecap taken out because apparently there's a dollar quarter in there somehow, or dollar coin, not quarter. So I don't know how that happened, but someone had a dollar coin in the washers. But anyway, I was either born with my kneecap in two pieces, and that was really good. That was $3,500 from the front washers, or I broke at some point along the way. And so in college, I got to the point where I couldn't walk, and I had surgery and had part of my kneecap taken out, and they had to reattach my quadricep to my other kneecap. But man, it felt better after that. So, but yeah, I've broken a few bones, a foot, a wrist, a fingers, playing basketball and sports. And then had a few surgeries too. So this is fantastic because last week, did we get over 6,000 last week? Just barely. We've got to be over 7,000, and that is really close to our record. I can't remember what our record is. We'll look at our chart, but that's 7,000. So this is the best we've had in months. At least our second best, if not our best week. 72.23 plus the gold one. I don't know if I should count the gold as a dollar or a quarter, because I'm pretty sure it would just count as a quarter. I can't believe the machines actually took it. But anyway, here's the dryers. So there's one of our out-of-order dryers, which has a motherboard issue. Totally fried. Not sure exactly how to fix that. But I was okay. You know, eventually we're going to send in a bunch of our motherboards to the Mountain Electronics in North Carolina. I forget what they're called exactly. But that's where you're supposed to send them in. But yeah, I haven't felt the need to do it yet, because it's still... I'm trying not to spend all the money that we get from the laundromat on new parts and machines. There we go. And these are looking pretty good too. So pretty happy with that. The dryers definitely make less money than the washers, especially because we're paying for gas, you know. Our gas bill was very expensive last month because it's very, very cold. Like I said, the furnaces were working all the time. I think our gas bill was $900 last month. It's usually like half that. So it'll be really interesting to see what it is in the future now that we fixed the furnace and insulated. Here's the dryer that stopped working. I think there was some money in it, but it basically runs fine, but it's cold. And so my guy, who also fixed the washer, said he checked the sensors and ignition and all those were working right, and said maybe it's a motherboard issue and I should check it out. So I was checking the programming and trying to check that out, and it was acting really funky, like it wouldn't go to the right program modes, and so I couldn't even get to the heat section. So I think it is a motherboard. It's either just acting weird or something's wrong with it. Now the good news is these are our smaller dryers that were in here before. And so we took out, what, 6 of these to put in the bigger dryers that we got first. I have lots and lots of backup motherboards for those. So I can easily switch out a motherboard with one of our other ones and see if that fixes the issue. Hopefully that's all it is. If that's the case, that's a pretty simple, easy thing to do. Just have to find some time to do it. So we've got our fingers crossed that that's all it is. All right, so here is the dryer money. And I always like to see over 2,000 coins from here. That means it's a pretty good week. And again, I can't remember exactly what our record is here. Actually, I can look it up while you guys are watching the video. My record, oh, we did break the record for washers. My record for dryers was $619, which is 24.76 quarters. So we'll see if 24.76 is the record we're trying to break here. Again, looking at quarters that are not very exciting. And my machine just randomly stops on 1,000 quarters all the time, and it just happened to stop exactly on 1,500, so that wasn't anything special, just completely random. It could stop on 276, just if it was the 1,000 quarters since the last time it been stopped, and it's a weird setting. All right, 24.76 is the record. I know it's very suspenseful. Everybody is probably on the edge of their seat. Oh, it's getting exciting. Ooh, it's going to be close. It's going to be very, very, very close. Oh, and then we did it. 2,500. Oh, nope, nope. 2,501. So new record from the dryers as well. So that was for the washer, so I'll make sure to put that in the chart. Now, let's see how we did. I also had kind of a snafu with my chart too, because I was trying to do some different stuff and have some different stats, and the software I used to do this, I deleted a couple columns thinking, oh, I can just redo and get those back real quick. There's a redo button, you know? And I deleted a couple columns and the redo button didn't work. And I'm like, oh crap. And I was working forever to try and figure out how to get my data back, and I couldn't do it. And I used to keep track of this in Excel, but I don't. I just keep track of it on the actual software. So it was a pain, but we had to go back and look through my older charts and kind of guesstimate what my washer and dryer money was. So the washer and dryer money might be off historically just a little bit, but the totals were correct. We never changed the total, the cash, so all the vending, that was never changed. And then the most recent totals are all accurate. So not that anybody really cares about that, but in case anybody's trying to add these up at any point in time, there's a chance they might not add up to the total. All right, there was our record in the beginning of November, I believe. Almost 2,500, not quite. Like I said, we had more washer money and more dryer money, so we'll see. New record, yes! We are over 2,500 for the first time, 2530.8. So we had 1806 from the washers, which broke our old record by almost 100. Dryers broke a record. Vending did not break a record. Our pop came in very high. That might be the most we've ever had from the pop machine. I'm not sure. And then soap came a little lower than normal. But overall, really good to see. Our cash, our total cash was $22.91, so we collected $14.37 on Monday. 8.50. Where's my number? Well, whatever. Oh, 8.54, yeah. So new record for cash as well. And then, yeah, so things are looking pretty good. So it's an interesting pattern I saw here is before our last record, if you look kind of the orange line is the cash. We almost always have more quarters come in than cash come into the business. So people bring in their own quarters. It's very, very rare that we see more cash than quarters come out of the machines. I think that's happened twice, and both times were before we had huge records. So look at the week before the last record in end of October. we had more cash come in than was in the change machines, a lot of cash. And the next week we had a huge record. And then last week we had more cash come in. We had a lot of cash, like 2190 or something cash come in, more than what was in the machines. And we had a new record this week. So could be a coincidence, but kind of interesting to see. Whenever we have a ton of cash come in, maybe it means people are loading up on quarters, planning to go to the laundromat. Who knows? But it's a good week. We fixed the machine. The pop machine's working. Hopefully we can fix the dryer. I do have someone else who's going to start learning to fix the machines, and hopefully that will go a little better. We'll see. A little frustrating that something so simple like turning on the water wasn't done. But like I said, that's a lot of things are changing in my business on that side of it. And we'll see how that all goes as well. Nice to have the insulation in. Hopefully that helps. Nice to have the heat work. Hopefully that helps. And we'll see if our bills decrease too, because it's, of course, nice to increase your revenues and have more money coming in. But if all your expenses are going up just as much or even higher, that's not a good thing. So you have to look at both sides of it, the expenses and the income, obviously. All right, thanks for watching. We'll have the little laundromat coming up tomorrow. We'll see how it did and if there's any news on trying to sell it.